My brakes do not work properly. Now can you see like the problem? So it like closes this pad thing onto this metal rim. So whenever it's like raining and this is wet, it just sort of skates along the thing. Like the bike is literally from the 70s. It's literally older than me. His name is Arnold. And I've taken him in for them to do this and they were like, well, it's just because they're old tires, like that's how they used to do them. I guess like a lot of people crashed in the 70s. Like he was like, you get new wheels on, but it would cost more than the bike. So take my life into my hands every day. Ducks, 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 ducks. Ducks, 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 ducks. Hello. Hello, duck, 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 duck. Lazy bones. You're not even getting up, say hi. You're not even gonna get up, say hi. Oh, you're such a late. Okay, really quick, back in the office for my lunch break. I've pissed it away again. I don't know what happened. Like, I think obviously I messed with the dogs for ages. Anyway, no time. No time ever. Also, I ran out of soda, so I had to make mulled wine. Ugh. You know, hard life. Okay, just quick. My January TBR, right? And this TBR is primarily dominated by the readathon coming up in January, okay? It is the, now that's what I call summer readathon, and Karen's doing it, and she's asked me to help out. I've like, I'll link her video and also the video that I did, like doing like an announcement of the readathon, so if you're in, you know, let me know. But I said also in that video that I would eventually do a TBR to say which ones that I'm going to read for this readathon, and then also do a recommendations video later. So maybe next week I'll do like loads of books that I really enjoyed that would fit within the categories, just in case, you know, you need a bit of help. As everyone does. So on the prompts thing, on the bingo board, there's 4 things on there that aren't books. There's only 5 books in like the 9 like things to do for the readathon, you know? But I might sort of have a chat about the other things as well. Just like, you know, it's good to be in a good headspace for what you're doing. Also, I think there's a couple other books that I might try to get to in January, apart from these 5, you know, because I think some of them are quite small and also one's a graphic novel. So, you know, depending on how January's going, which it may go shit because January is in general shit, you know, but it may go good. In which case I'll need, you know, backup books in my mind ready to go. Okay. First thing, first square is watch cartoons and eat cereal in your jammies. That's for Saturday morning cartoons. I feel like this is going to be an amazing one that I'm going to do with Anwen, and we're going to watch Hilda. Do you know Hilda? Okay, we read the Hilda graphic novels. It's about this, like, mildly Scandinavian fantasy girl. She lives in, like a sort of Scandi-esque fantasy world with, like, trolls and, like, house trolls and rock trolls and, like, you know, magic creatures and stuff like that. And she sort of starts out her life living in the countryside, you know, and like just running wild, and her mother never knows where she is. And then for like whatever reason, like, oh yeah, their house gets flattened. As you do. They have to move to the city, and she's just not a city girl, and she's not having a good time like coping, you know, with coming back from the country and like having rules and stuff. Anyway, it's turned it into a show, and it's fantastic. It's on Netflix, or it's Netflix UK. I don't know if it's on Netflix America, but you should definitely watch it. Spud and I are gonna catch up on that for this one. Anyway. Okay, next one. Read a book you wanted to read as a kid but never got to. And I'm going to go with a slightly, you know, unconventional pick here. Because I think the idea we originally had for this was for it to be like a kid's book. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, you're a kid and you've got all these kids' books you want to read but you never quite get to them. I'm going to instead go with a completely different tack here and say The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides? Eugenides? How have I never known this guy's last name? This book is famous. When I was a kid, my best friend Christina's older sister was reading this book, and she and her boyfriend were like talking about it, you know, like having like a really like lengthy in-depth discussion that we weren't allowed to listen to because it was super like, you know, not acceptable for us. So ever since then, I've wanted to read this book, and I thought, how can I get my hands on this book? Like even as a kid, I was like, I want to read it. And I want to read it now. Premise, in case you don't know, about the Virgin Suicides. The 5 Lisbon sisters, beautiful, eccentric, and now gone, had always been a point of obsession for the entire neighbourhood. Although the boys that once loved them from afar have grown up, they remain determined to understand a tragedy that has defied explanation. The question persists, why did all 5 of the Lisbon girls take their own lives? Okay, next one. Build a 90s/80s playlist and have a dance party. So, I originally for this one was thinking, oh, a bit of Britney, you know, a bit of late 90s, like when I was sort of going into high school, do you know what I mean? Like that sort of pop era. But now, like, I've had a weird Spotify wrap up. Like, you know how the year-end Spotify wrap up comes out every year, and it like gives you like your most listened to genres and like your most listened to artists and stuff. And it's been a bit weird. It was a weird wrap up, and it has like sent me down a weird line of thought. So it was like hugely dominated by country, my Spotify wrap up. It had like one kind of country, another kind of country, dance pop as like my third most common thing I listen to, and then another kind of country, and then like bluegrass or something like that. And I think it's just the way I listen to Spotify. Like, I have music I listen to on my phone, that's like my music that I own. I listen to YouTube for music, you know, I listen to the radio in the car. Like, whenever I specifically tap into Spotify to listen to it, I'm just looking for like something quick, you know, and I just like put on really whatever playlist I think I was already listening to at the time. So I think at one point I put up a country playlist, like thinking, you know, oh, like in a mood for it or something. And then just every time I open Spotify, like I got sucked into that again, you know. But anyway, it's made me think now that my playlist for this thing might be like a 90s, 80s country playlist, like a bit of Garth Brooks, like Tim McGraw, Reba McEntire, you know, like just get all the good guys from the 80s, 90s, like a bit of Randy Travis. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay. Next one is Too Cool for School. Read a book about cool teens. Like, I might change my mind still. I'm still working my way methodically through this year's NPR book concierge list, and I may end up changing my mind about this one because I'm not married to this idea. But, you know, I quite like it. So this, at the moment, I have an ebook that I borrowed from the library. Like, I'm trying to get into ebooks as well. Like, for the upcoming year, like, I'll talk about this probably, like, later in the month. But, like, my main project for the upcoming year is going to be to not get loads of books and then just have them on my house not read. Like, it's gotten a bit out of control in the last sort of year with the pandemic and everything. So I'm trying to get more things from the library, buy less stuff, and a lot of times if they don't have the audiobook or the physical book at the library, I'll go and buy the book, which is not how it needs to happen, when especially they sometimes do have the ebook instead. So I need to start getting into ebooks. So I've got the ebook of Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. So this is the third book in like the Simon Snow series or whatever. Like, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you could just start with the first one. It's just as good, you know. It's about these kids. They're like magician kids, like magic kids who go to like a magic school, but they're cooler than Harry Potter, okay? Like, they're cool teens. You know, I think one of them is bisexual, you know, and the other one is gay. And one of the girls, I think, is like neurodiverse. Like, they're very cool teens. Okay, and they do very cool stuff. One of them is like a sort of chosen one, you know, and they have like battles with their classmates and also with evil, you know. So I guess it is like Harry Potter, but like I reckon these kids are way cooler than the kids in that one. So cool teens, I reckon. This is gonna be good. I'm excited. Okay, next one is read a book that takes place in summer. And again with the ebooks, I found an ebook from the library of a book that I've wanted to read for a while, but I didn't want to get the actual book because it's still in hardback. Super expensive, super big, super heavy, right? So for this one, I'm thinking of doing Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, so 4 famous siblings throw an epic party to celebrate the end of the summer, but over the course of 24 hours, their lives will change forever. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, it takes place in Malibu in the 80s. A massive party. I don't really know what this is about, but I'm still excited because Taylor Jenkins Reid is quite good. I quite like her. And loads of people that I know from BookTube have read it and liked it. So I think it's a good one. I'm gonna go with it. Anyway. Okay, next one is Uncover Reading. Read a mystery featuring a hidden object or a puzzle. And I think the idea for this one was that it would be like a kids one because there are loads of kids books like this, aren't there? It's sort of like a theme in kids book mysteries or like middle grade mysteries. Sort of first solve a puzzle, you know, like to go through like steps, like this clue to this clue to this clue. But I'm going to go with a different tack here. And it's because I found it cheap at the charity shop and it looked brand new. And it is Anthony Horowitz's Magpie Murders. Like, loads of people on work were talking about this one. Like, it's one of those, like, you know, airport mystery type things, I reckon. You know, like a quick read. Like, it's biggish, but I reckon you fly through it and it's a bit, I don't know, like cheesy and stuff like that. But I think from what I've looked at, the blurb and everything, that it does fit this prompt. It's sort of like, oh yeah, like clues hidden in the pages of a manuscript type thing, which, like, I'm pretty into. Telling of real life jealousy, greed, ruthless ambition, and murder. Bum, bum, bum. Love it. Like, I think I'm going to be into that one. I really like that. Like, I probably wouldn't read it if it weren't for this readathon and me having to, like, go specifically searching for this kind of prompt. So that's already a win. If I like it, you know, I have gleaned amazing stuff from January already, even though it's a pile of poop as a month. Okay, next one is snail mail, mail a postcard to a pen pal. And I was just going to do Postcrossing, which, like, anyone, like, oh, maybe I'll link a video down below of, like, a Postcrossing video I did ages ago. It's like a thing you can do online. You sign up for it, and then you send a stranger a postcard, and then a stranger sends you back a postcard, and it's, like, it's brilliant. I love it. I was just going to do that for this prompt, but Betsy, someone who watches and comments, let me know that she wants to do it, and she wants a pen pal, so I'm 100% going to write to her instead. We've been chatting. I reckon we'll have a lot to say in our postcard pen paling situation. I'm pumped. Okay, that's sorted. Okay, next one. Read a comic or graphic novel. Pass me the funnies. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go with Dead Endia 2. Okay, I may have already talked about this on my channel like 9,000 times, and I apologize for that. I haven't quite gotten to it yet. I don't know why, because it looks amazing. So the first one is basically about these same kids. They work at a theme park, you know, like a Six Flags or like an Oakwood, and they work at the haunted house like feature that's in the middle of the park. But it, as well as being a haunted house feature in a theme park, it's also like a portal to hell, or like a portal to like other realms and stuff, like angel realms and demon realms and stuff like that. So these kids, they all have to sort of like go about their normal lives doing normal teenage stuff and like normal summer job working type things, but also battling evil as it presents itself through the portal. And last prompt is to build a fort and read in it. So we tend to like to build our forts over the bed because we can like put strings up and stuff like that and sort of lay things over the top of it. We don't really have a living room big enough to stick individual chairs in, and like, you know, we always have a problem sort of like doing it in the living room. We have to have a space that's like over a bed. But I saw this thing online that actually was super cheap. It's like a build a fort set. It looked like a connector set. Do you know, like these things where it's like the balls and then you like stick the rods in and then you stick another ball and then a rod and like you build it up like that. It looked like that, but it was for building forts. So it basically helps you to build a frame with which to drape blankets over for your fort. And it looks pretty cheap online. I might get it just because who doesn't love a fort? Like, that would be a good investment. Like, the amount of time that we'd save ourselves fucking stringing things from the windows, you know? Okay, and then, like, aside from that readathon, like, books that I may try to get to in January, there's this story graph reading challenge thing to do with reading your shelf. And that's something that I definitely want to do. Like, try to, you know, get the books, the unread books down to like a manageable number in my house. And there are like all these prompts in there that are like giving me feels. Like one of them is like a book you pre-ordered because you absolutely needed it, but then didn't read it. Like, I think the one that I'll read for that one is Grady Hendrix' new book. It's like, what's it? The Final Girl Supporting Group. I 100% want to read this in a crazy bad way and just have not gotten to it yet. There's just been so many different things like in the way. But I did want to read it immediately, and I did pre-order it, and now it's just like sitting in my house. So I will definitely want to try to get to that one for January. Also, there's a category for a book that someone gave me. And like, it was like a year ago, and I imagine they do actually want it back. So I'm gonna try to put that one on my January list as well. It is Child 44 by Tom Rob Smith. I don't even work with this guy anymore, but I don't like want to give it back to him without reading it. Like, I don't want to like have it for a year and then just give it back and be like, I had no reason to have it for a year. Like, if I'm gonna have it for a year, like I want to at least give it back and be like, this book was amazing, and like have a chat. Like, he's owed, you know, commentary on this book he lent me for a year, I reckon. But yeah, I think that's my TBR for January. If you have thoughts and you want to let me know, that would be amazing. Like, what are you thinking of reading for this? You know, are there any places where you're stuck? Like prompts you can't quite think of something for? I am going to do a rec video, but if you like have specific prompts you're looking to fill, you know, give me a comment and I'll like go through and try to figure something out. Oh yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes left, eat my sandwich, drink my wine, get on my bike, haul ass back to work. I've missed these days of hauling ass on my bike.
So we didn't do like normal stuff like wave stuff. We actually did really fun stuff. Like we went with Mr. Williams to marathon or dance.
Yeah?
And then we do compound.
Yeah?
And then we can colour in our books.
Oh, that was fun, yeah?
Oh. Mae marathon llais a wachtan wyn a rhywbeth yn neisach. Oops, wrong way. This one goes here. Oh, well.
Sorted. Okay, ready to go?
Uh-huh.
Okay, right.
Whoa, crazy dog. Whoa. Crazy dogs. Okay, I get it. Come on, go out. I get it.